All right, everyone, gather around. Today, we are diving into something that can sometimes feel a little tricky, introducing yourself at a party. Welcome back to the channel where we help you level up your professional communication skills in English. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks to boost your fluency, social skills, confidence, and executive presence in English. In this lesson, we are diving into the sometimes daunting but oh so important life skill of introducing yourself at a party. Not just any introductions though. We're talking advanced introductions that'll make you stand out, spark conversations, and leave people wanting to know more. So let's get into it. Now, I know parties are supposed to be fun, but they can also be a bit intimidating, especially when you're in a room full of people that you don't know. That's why mastering your introduction in English is so very important, because it's your chance to make a great first impression and start conversations that could lead to meaningful connections. Why confident introductions matter. Let's start with why it's important to be able to introduce yourself confidently at a party in English. Imagine you walk into a room full of strangers. The first few seconds are crucial. How you introduce yourself can set the tone for how others perceive you and how the conversations will go with them. A strong introduction can open the door to engaging conversations, help you make connections and build rapport, and even make you feel more at ease in social settings. So whether you're at a casual get-together, a work event, or a networking party, having a solid introduction up your sleeve is key to making the most of these opportunities. Think about it. Parties are like a buffet of opportunities. New connections, potential collaborations, friendships, the list goes on. It's all there for the taking. But how do you make sure you're not just another face in the crowd? Well, a well-crafted introduction is your secret sauce. It's your chance to showcase your personality, pique curiosity, and leave a lasting impression. Tangible strategies. Now, let's talk about some strategies that you can use to craft an advanced introduction in English. These aren't your standard, "Hi, I'm Mary Daphne" kind of intros. We're going to add a little bit of flair to make them even more memorable and engaging. Strategy number 1, the hook, line, and sinker. This one's all about creating intrigue. Start with a hook, something unexpected, a fun fact, an interesting observation about the party itself. Then reel them in with the line, your name, and a quick tidbit about yourself. Finally, cast the sinker, which is a question or a statement that invites them to engage further. For example, I just tried the mini quiches and they are surprisingly delicious. Have you had one yet? I'm Mary Daphne, by the way. I'm always on the hunt for good party food. All right, what is the explanation of this? Well, this is an example of a party introduction that uses the hook, the line, and the sinker strategy. It starts with a hook, right? By commenting on the delicious mini quiches that are being served, which grabs attention and creates a positive vibe. And then comes the line with the person's name, right? I introduced myself. And then a little bit about myself in a funny, casual way. And finally, the sinker is a question which invites the other person to engage in conversation about the food. Here's another example of hook, line, and sinker. This playlist is amazing. Do you know who made it? I'm MD, by the way. I'm always looking for new music recommendations. All right, so the hook here is complementing the playlist because it grabs attention and shows that you're engaged with the party atmosphere, right? You like the music that you're hearing at this party. The line, Well, you introduce yourself naturally, right? I said, I'm MD. And then the sinker is asking about the playlist creator, right? Which opens the door for conversation about music. So that person very well may have created that playlist. If not, maybe they know who did create that playlist. And maybe it just gets the people talking about music in general, what's on their Spotify, what kinds of music they like, and things of that nature. All right, so how to practice? Well, brainstorm a few hooks that are related to your interests, the event, or even current events and trends happening at that time. And practice delivering them with a smile and a confident tone, also confident body language. Strategy number 2, the common ground connector. People love to connect with others who share their interests. So find something that you have in common with the person or the event itself. The idea here is to establish a connection by highlighting a shared interest or experience. Now, this could be related to the party's theme, the host's background, or even current events. By finding common ground, you create an instant rapport that makes the conversation flow more naturally and smoothly. Let's have a look at some examples. The decorations here are amazing. I'm a bit of a design enthusiast myself. I'm Mary Daphne, by the way. Next example. I heard this party is a fundraiser for environmental causes. That's fantastic. I volunteer with a local conservation group. I'm MD, by the way. All right, so the first example, compliment the decorations, shows you're observant, you're observing what's going on around you, and you're appreciative of the host's effort. They clearly put in a lot of time and energy and resources into making the space beautiful, right? And then mentioning your interest in design opens the door to discussing that shared passion. Now, in the second example, bringing up the fundraiser cause demonstrates that you share a common value with the host and potentially other guests at that event. And this can lead to conversations about volunteering, environmental issues, or other related topics. How to practice this strategy? Well, research. If possible, find out about the party's theme, the reason the party is being hosted, the host's interest, or any other relevant news related to the event. Identify shared interests. Think about your own hobbies, your passions, your interests, your experiences that really might align with the event or even the people attending, because that's how you can start to find common ground. Prepare a few openers. If you craft a couple of introduction lines that highlight the common ground that you've identified, that will be super helpful to you to have in your back pocket. And you can keep them natural and conversational. You don't want to sound stiff or robotic or rehearsed. So don't worry if you slip up or you make a little bit of a mistake. That's okay because it shows that it's natural, it's conversational. Remember, L1 native English speakers make mistakes all the time when they're speaking. So it's part of the conversation, really. Remember, the key is to be genuine and enthusiastic about the shared interests, because this will make your introduction more memorable and engaging, which is what we want. On to strategy number 3, the humble brag. All right, well, this one's a little bit tricky, but I still want to share it with you because when done right, it can be very, very effective. So to do the humble brag, essentially you want to share a recent accomplishment or a project, but tie it into the conversation or the event itself in a natural way. And that's the part that's going to need some thinking about, right? You really do want to find alignment. If you just brought up a project or mentioned an accomplishment out of the blue, it'll just sound like you're bragging. And people will be wondering, well, what is the relation here, right? What's the connection? So make it relevant, find alignment, and keep it light and engaging. Let's take a look at some examples. So imagine you're at a tech-themed party. You might say, I've been really into all the VR demos here tonight. I actually just wrapped up a project at work where we incorporated some VR elements into our new training program. It was such a blast to work on. I'm Mary Daphne, by the way. Nice to meet you. And imagine now you're at a friend's housewarming party. You could say something like, "Your new place is absolutely beautiful. It reminds me of this amazing interior design project I just finished for a client. I'm MD, by the way. Nice to meet you." All right, if you want just a general conversation starter, you could say, "I'm so glad the weather is finally warming up. I can't wait to get back out on the hiking trails. I recently summited Mount Marcy in the Adirondacks, which was an absolutely incredible experience. I'm Mary Daphne, by the way." And notice how I'm outstretching my hand, right? I am putting my hand out there for a handshake. So you can do that when you mention your name. I'm Mary Daphne. I'm MD, whatever your name is, or whatever you like to go by as your nickname. So the key here is to frame your accomplishment in a way that is interesting and invites some conversation, not just a boast or a brag. So to do this effectively, think about a few recent accomplishments or experiences that you're proud of, and then find ways to connect them to potential conversation topics or the event that you're at itself. Practice weaving these accomplishments into your introduction in a way that's natural and invites further conversation, because the point is not just to talk about yourself and all the amazing things that you're up to and that you've accomplished, but to get people to interact and have them share the cool things that they're up to, what they love to do, for fun. So it's really a back and forth conversation. That's the key. And then the other key is to make it feel like a natural part of the conversation, not a forced brag. Nobody really enjoys that, right? So I really want you to remember that practice makes progress, and progress makes us happy. So being consistent, practicing, that's essential if you really do want to nail these introductions. And when you're doing these introductions, confidence is key. Remember to stand tall, make eye contact, speak clearly, have a soft smile on your face, and be genuine. Authenticity really, really matters. Be yourself, let your personality shine through, and people will like you for who you are. Practice, 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 right? The more you practice, the more natural these introductions will feel. So don't feel like you need to have them memorized, but be comfortable with them and feel free to adapt and make them flexible depending on your context, depending on the people you're talking to, depending on the party you're at or the event you're at. That way they really do come across as natural. So there you have it. 3 super advanced introduction strategies in English to help you rock any party you find yourself in. Now, go out there, practice, have fun, try these strategies on for size, make them your own, and make some amazing connections. I want to tell you about our boot camp challenge. If you're up for a challenge, then join our year-long communication skills boot camp. You'll get live classes with me and webinars, monthly challenges and web courses, live interactive chats with members, video call meetups in your interest groups, which is a great way to make friends and network, by the way, and more. So you can find out what we do at explearning Academy by going to academy.explearning.co. Just click the link in the description down below. If you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone that you think would benefit from this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.